Derek, how good of a handle do you feel like you have on who's on the team amongst the guys competing for some of the jobs?
Yeah, it's still fairly wide open, and we have the 4 games to figure some things out. And you'll see that within the lineup there. Maybe some of those guys, especially some of those young guys, they may get 3 of the last 4 games, if not all 4, to kind of paint the picture for us a little bit.
What have you like? I mean, guys who've stood out to you for like somebody like Elmer or Berggren, like who's
They've all had positives, which is typical of young guys, positive, negatives. Really hard for me to pick someone out on the positive, but it's also I probably couldn't pick someone out on the negative, which is good, which is fairly typical. So that's why we want to keep seeing them, keep evaluating, get some more eyes and games on them, and go from there.
Derek, what was your message to Giovanni Smith coming into the season as far as what areas you wanted him to improve at, what did you want to see from him?
Simplify his game. We need him to buy into what everyone else is doing. Less risks in the game. Keep things simple. Control the things he can control. Just manage his game. We don't need him trying to force offense. We just need him to be simple, hard to play against, stick up for teammates. I think the last game you saw in Chicago, he did all of that, and why he had a positive game. And I think most people who watched that game came out of that game with a positive feel for his performance. So we'd like to see that all the time from him, not some of the time.
Derek, is that still an important part of the game these days?
I think it's a reality of the game these days. Obviously, it's less and less, but tough can be a little bit different now. Obviously, there's guys in this league that will fight for teammates, but sometimes just sticking up for a teammate is important. I know it's a little thing, but I can't remember what preseason game, but Mo got run from behind the first shift, and it was Dylan that actually went and stood up for him. And obviously Dylan didn't fight the guy or have to fight the guy, but it was important for our bench that he did that.
Mo Sider, the clip from the other night jumping up at the blue line and catching, looking at a 10-foot wingspan. Those little things, how special does that make his instincts? How good is he now? And just being around him closely, how special can he be?
He plays on his toes, and that's an example. Most D would have backed up, maybe let the puck hit or absorb it in his chest. Just his instincts on moving forward on his toes. I'm going to go meet the puck 14 feet in the air, snag it, pull it down, and keep it going north. So love that in him, and that's why we think he can be a very special player for us.
You were around Hedman closely. Can you see comparables just in the instinct, anything like that?
There is. I think the really impressive thing in my 4 years with Victor was him turning into a pro, but a pro on a winning team. Even his practice habits were good in years 1 and 2. His practice habits, when we were going through those Stanley Cups, I mean, he was our hardest practice guy, most serious practice guy. And it was just impressive to see. He drove a lot of practice, and I think that was something he learned in time, and it drove us. So it was, he's going to go down as, I can see him perceiving being in the Hall of Fame someday, but I don't know if people appreciate what he brought every day to us in Tampa. And I think Mo has the ability to be that type of person. Obviously, he's still young in this league, but if I have an example of what I was able to experience in Tampa from Victor, that's something I will certainly try to push on Mo.
You've talked about Valeno and kind of the realities of his waiver exempt situation, but has he made that situation kind of tougher on you guys with the way he's played so far?
Yes. Like we, again, open-minded. He missed the front end of camp there with the lower body injury, but he's had 2 good showings now. I think, and you guys have probably seen it too, he just seems harder. Like he's engaging in battles, he's winning battles, he's coming out of pucks with battles. And I think any young D, especially any young player, especially a young center, that's hard to do in this league. And you can tell that was probably part of his game he wanted to improve on. And so far, in only a 2-game sample size, he's done that.